Bhakti yogena bhuyasa tam nirantara bhavena bhajatada vimuktaye. Synonyms, translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Virakta cha, completely renounced order of life. Indriya ratao, in the matter of sense gratification. Bhakti yogena, by the process of devotional service. Bhuyasa, with great seriousness. Tam, unto him, the Supreme. Nirantara, constantly, 24 hours, daily. Bhavena, in the topmost stage of ecstasy. Bhajita, must worship. Adha, directly. Vimuktaye, for liberation. Translation. If one is very serious about liberation, he must stick to the process of transcendental loving service, engaging 24 hours a day in the highest stage of ecstasy, and he must certainly be aloof from all activities of sense gratification. Purport. There are different stages of perfection according to different persons' objectives. Generally, people are karmis, for they engage in activities of sense gratification. Above the karmis are jnanis, who are trying to become liberated from material entanglement. Yogis are still more advanced because they meditate on the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And above all these are the devotees who simply engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. They are situated seriously on the topmost platform of ecstasy. Here, Dhruva Maharaj is advised that if he has no desire for sense gratification, then he should directly engage himself in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. The path of Apavarga, or liberation, begins from the stage called moksha. In this verse, the word vimukte, for liberation, is especially mentioned. If one wants to be happy within this material world, he may aspire to go to different material planetary systems where there is a higher standard of sense gratification. But real moksha, or liberation, is performed without any such desire. This is explained in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by the term Anya Bilashita Shunyam, without desire for material sense gratification. For persons who are still inclined to enjoy material life in different stages or on different planets, the stage of liberation in Bhakti Yoga is not recommended. Only persons who are completely free from the contamination of sense gratification can execute Bhakti Yoga, or the process of devotional service, very purely. The activities on the path of Apavarga up to the stage of Dharma, Artha, and Kama, and meant for sense gratification. But when one comes to the stage of Moksha, the impersonalist liberation, the practitioner wants to merge into the existence of the Supreme. But that is also sense gratification. When one goes above the stage of liberation, however, he at once becomes one of the associate of the Lord to render transcendental loving service. That is technically called Vimukti. For this specific Vimukti liberation, Narad Muni recommends that one directly engage himself in devotional service. Hare Krishna. We will chant the Mangala Charan prayer. If you know it, please unmute and chant alongside with me. Hare Krishna. Om Agnyantimirantasya Gyananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishnabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Again, apologies for the delay. I wasn't able to sign on from the Zoom app on my laptop. And as it was happening, time is running on, I had a realization. John Lennon, who was one of the key members of a very famous group called the Beatles, George Harrison, one of the members, he was the disciple of Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada's instructions to him, he wanted to give up, he was on top of the world, fame, everything. He wanted to give up everything, shave his head, and become a disciple, move into the ashram. But Prabhupada said, no, remain in what your situation is, that is making music, and spread Krishna consciousness in that way. So he wrote a song, and that song, My Sweet Lord, was number one on the music charts world over. And hundreds and millions of people heard the name of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. He reached, so through his occupation, he reached so many people, spread Krishna Sankirtan, Krishna consciousness. And even every morning in every temple and center of ISKCON, the Govindam Adi Purusham, that tune, music is he wrote. And Yamuna Mataji, she's the one, and of course the chorus who sang it. So coming back to George Lennon also had written another song, and he had the lyrics was, life is what happens to you when you're busy making other plans. So prepared for this class, and I assumed that my laptop is working fine, and I'll join at such and such time, start up the laptop, start the class. But a technical glitch came up. So you make do with the best of whatever you have. So similarly, in our devotional service, many a times we may intend to do something, but the action can get uh, curtailed. The action, something may happen beyond our control. But all the same, even if these actions get checked over and over again, most important is the intent. And that is what, dear devotees, it is connected to today's verse. What is today's verse? If you look at the essence of what it says, if somebody is serious about liberation, of course, there are different types of liberations, you all know. What he must do is for the highest liberation, vi mukti. Mukti is liberation. Vi, the best, highest, the most, the best liberation, that is bhakti. He should be 24 hours engaged in loving devotional service. To do that, to engage in devotional service, one needs to remain aloof from sense gratification. Hare Krishna. Actually, this verse is the entire essence of, how do you say, it's like the foundation of bhakti. So, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, everything, the subject matter is bhakti. And this verse encapsulates, what is that bhakti? Hare Krishna. So, one who can control his senses and avoids attachment, that's how the Lord's mercy is available. Bhakti is not something, uh, nothing causes bhakti. So, no matter what a person may do, correct? No matter what he may try to do. So usually we have cause and effect. If you do something, you heat milk, the milk will boil. Something you do, there is an effect, cause and effect. However, with bhakti is no cause. Bhakti is no cause. Bhakti is, how do you say, it is a like an award granted to a serious practitioner. So bhakti is something which is already there within us. That's a natural condition. We have been conditioned by this material nature. Material nature conditioning is nothing but the indulgence in sense gratification, dear devotees. Different types of desires, whatever else is there, we get caught up in that. And it covers this natural propensity for bhakti. Now, to uncover that, there are certain processes. Hare Krishna. So, what this means for you, me, and almost everybody, it doesn't mean that you give up everything, sense gratification or renouncing sense gratification doesn't mean you don't use your senses. You use your senses, the senses are meant there to be used. Use your senses, but use it in a proper way. Engage it in such a way that it is centered around Krishna's pleasure. And that's where the principle of deity worship comes in. So, when we are doing deity worship, you are having a form of the deity. You're engaging all your senses with that particular form representative of Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, what um, the roadblocks or the hurdles is a habit, is these desires that we have, not in this lifetime of however many ever years that we have been alive, several lifetimes, dear devotee, several lifetimes. What do you do? So currently, the state that most of us find ourselves in is one leg is in the boat of bhakti, and the other leg is on the boat of sense gratification. Now, both these are going in a different direction. How much can one stretch? Even a gymnast who can actually go, both legs spread out like this, even then there is that limit because those boats are going further and further and further away. So, what is to be done? We are trying to do how they have this popular thing called work life balance. We are trying to balance the material sense gratification and also the spiritual activities, devotional activities that we engage in. We try to do that. So, how it happens is okay, maybe on Sunday I'll come to the temple. Maybe I'll attend morning Bhagavatam class. Maybe I'll attend evening program. Maybe I'll do my rounds. Maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll do that. That is what we're trying to engage in bhakti. But there are still also material desires that we get caught up in. So, actually, if you take an inventory for the number of hours that we are awake, how many of these hours are put in the spiritual activities, and how many of these hours are not in the spiritual activities? Make an inventory on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, and then see which bucket is heavier. It's an eye opener. Now, what does this mean? Do we stop doing one, not do the other? No, continue doing whatever is your spiritual activity, but be conscious and aware. And what this means, dear devotees, is that even when we are doing something which doesn't apparently appear to be a spiritual activity, you're driving to work, What does driving to work do with bhakti? Someone may ask. You're sitting in your office in front of your laptop. What has that got to do? You're talking to your colleagues, you're talking to different people in your company, the vendors, the uh, customers, this, that, so many things. What has that got to do with bhakti? You're not chanting the verses of Bhagavad Gita with them. You're not doing Hare Krishna Kirtan with them. What has that got to do with bhakti? So many activities that we see throughout the day. How can that be then bhakti? Because we spend most time doing activities which are quote unquote not directly connected with Krishna. When you come and you're doing deity worship, if you have deities at home, you're doing deity worship, if you're cooking bhoga for them, all these activities you can say is direct connection because the senses are fully focused on that. Now, there are other activities where our senses are not necessarily focused on Krishna. How can you still do it? It is possible, literally 24 hours a day. It matters on our consciousness. The purpose, for whom are we doing these activities? So, one way to look at it is if you're driving to work or if you take the train to work, listen to a lecture. Listen to a lecture. You have half an hour, you have 1 hour, whatever is your travel time to get to work. Utilize that time to listen to lecture. Everybody has Facebook and social media. Everybody on the mobile phone. What happens? Everyone is scrolling up and down. Some interesting news bit. Something happened here, something happened here, some joke, some this, some that, whatever. It is bombarding the senses all the time. You can convert that social media into an act of devotion. How? Very simple example. You have Facebook, dear devotees. Facebook, there are so many friends, even friends of friends, even whom you don't know. Everyone accept, 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 accept. And things keep coming, popping up here and there. What you could do is start making friends with devotees, start making friends, subscribe to all the pages. There are hundreds and millions, thousands of pages related to bhakti. Start uh, following, make friends over there. What happens? Your page gets populated, the algorithm in Facebook, they start popping up all devotional related. So whatever is your interest, the algorithm pops that up when you get into Facebook. So what happens is this whole Facebook platform, you anyway, if you think I'm going to get distracted by Facebook, that distraction will show you a little short clip of Prabhupada, will show you a quote of some Swami, of Radha Govind Swami. So many, there are so many dear devotees. So, what you've done, principle of Yukta Vairagya, you've used it, you automatically, your consciousness gets directed over there. Hare Krishna. So, similarly, like this, all the activities that we're doing, it can be dovetailed towards Krishna. So, what it says is seriousness. The other thing is we should be serious, not haphazard. We want to be lovers of Krishna, not part time lovers of Krishna. Now, to be lovers of Krishna is there should be no material motive. There is material motive right now for us. Even when we are doing devotional activities, when you're doing seva also, there is a material motive attached in that. If you're honest with ourselves, it gives me some kind of a sense pleasure. Never mind. Continue doing it. When we start doing this more and more and more and absorb ourselves and surround ourselves, like I gave the Facebook activity and, driving to work and everything, then gradually that um, sense gratification gradually starts uh, uh, diminishing. Hare Krishna. Like this, we can be engaged in constant devotion. Constant. It is possible. It is not something you have to give up everything and go sit in Himalayas. No. Uh, Prabhupada told George Harrison, no disciple, you don't have to wear orange. You don't have to come into the temple. Continue doing what you're doing. So, whatever be our station in life, whatever be the station in life, we can be fully engaged in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. So, dear devotees, we have 2-3 minutes more. If you have any questions or realization, you could please unmute and share those. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for wonderful class in short time. You mentioned about George Harrison Prabhuji. That reminded me when I used to drop my children to the bus stop, and I used to have chanting bag in my hand, and I was chanting. So that driver, American, maybe say around 65, he asked me, "What are you doing this?" Then I told about this chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And then he showed me, like, he kept that George Harrison's band, he was chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, right? And he showed me that next time he brought that and he said, I used to hear that music and it's so beautiful. So Prabhupada had so nice vision so that, see, he would have become disciple doing services and all that. But his talent Prabhupada used for the whole world, and lot of people in the world, they got that Hare Krishna Mahamantra, at least that beach inside in their heart, and it will purify later. So
Mm.
beautiful, right? And you mentioned about Facebook also. Yeah, it's very good social media to put our like spiritual things, so that people will also get mercy and we get connected to different like people in the world. So thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. You never know how bhakti. I'll share very quickly in 30 seconds or 1 minute. Um, Radhanath Swami was giving a lecture. Just
Hmm.
see how bhakti reaches people. And
Hmm.
that time he was a young brahmachari in New Vrindavan. And a
Hmm.
gentleman came from um, South America and he
Hmm.
was looking around the New Vrindavan temple. So
Hmm.
Maharaj approached him and he says that, is this your first time? Yes. And he took him to Prabhupada Palace and gave him a tour and, generally started talking with him. So then Maharaj told him the principle of, he knew everything. He knew everything and Maharaj was surprised. So then he told a story. So Maharaj, he says, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he says, yes, I'm chanting 16 rounds.
Hmm.
And what brought you here? So he says, because in Gita, Krishna says, Sarva Dharman Parityaja, and he gave the verse improper pronunciation.
Hmm.
And Maharaj was surprised. He told a story. He was a welder, very rich man. He used to do some very high special welding, made a
Hmm.
lot of money. One day he was standing at a street corner, eating a watermelon and spitting the seeds in the garbage can.
Hmm.
And as he was holding the watermelon, it fell into the garbage can. So he tried to get hold the uh, uh, watermelon
Hmm.
in the garbage can. And
Hmm.
as he was this, he saw a book, Bhagavad Gita as it is, Prabhupada's book.
Hmm.
And he picked up that book. Someone had thrown, because, book distribution, whatever, someone had thrown Bhagavad Gita in the garbage can. And this person lifted up the Bhagavad Gita, started reading it. No association of devotees doesn't know anything.
Hmm.
And a couple of years later, 2-3 years later, he made inquiries and landed up at New Vrindavan. Just see this, how
Yeah.
Kirtan reaches, uh,
Hmm.
how it reaches people.
Yeah.
So, okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you. Madhupati Prabhu, over to you.
Very well. Thank you, Amritananda. I'd like to wish everybody a safe and Krishna conscious day and weekend ahead. As the words mentioned, Mukti, for Mukti, one should be absorbed continuously, satatam, 24 hours a day. So utilize that time of 24 hours a day completely engrossed in book distribution over the weekend and being completely absorbed in distributing the mercy of the Supreme Lord to others, accepting ourselves and distributing to others. So take this wonderful opportunity over the weekend. We'd like to offer our prayers to the Supreme Lord by chanting Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama, Hare
Rama
Hare,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama, Hare
Rama
Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Hare.
Rama, Hare Hare.
Shina Shingo, Jai Shingo, Jai Jena Shingo, Pralade Sanjaya Padam, Sapadam Lingam, Ugraviram,
Guraviram Mahavishnu Jalantam Saruto Mukham
Nrsimham Bhisham,
Nrsimham Vishnu Bhadrang Namaste Namami.
Nrsimha Bhagwan ki Jai,
Ki
Prahlad
Jai,
Maharaj ki Jai.
Jai.
Let's offer our humble obeisances to all the assembled Vaishnavas.
Vanchakalpatarubhyaksha kripa
Kalpatarubhyaksha
sindhubhyascha patitanam
Patitanam
pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
Vaishnavrinda ki Jai.
Jai.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Srila
Jai.
Prabhupada ki Jai.
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 Gaur Premanande.
Hari
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 Bol.
Bol. Thank you
Thank you,
everybody. Hari
Amritanta
Bol. Hare
Prabhuji. Thank you,
Krishna.
everyone. Hare Krishna. Hari Bol.
Krishna.